Am I?
Yes. Hello, Dr. Farzana. I am Shinu Seni, a team member of Eurasia Research, and today I will be taking your interview. How are you, Dr. Farzana?
Thank you very much. I'm fine. And how are you?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. So, welcome to the chat session for Eurasia Research. We are really grateful to have you today. So, we'll be starting with the questions. Before I start with the questions, I would like to uh, inform you that this chat session will be a recorded chat session. I hope you're okay with that.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Great. Hello. Good afternoon, Dr. Farzana Swarna Prova. I would like to introduce to our audience that today we have Dr. Farzana Swarna Prova as an eminent speaker for our chat session interview today. So she is affiliated to Department of Theatre and Performance Studies, Chatia Kabi Kazi, Nazrul Islam University, Dhaka, Bangladesh. So she presented her presentation on topic of narratives of failure, myth, decision, ecology, and contemporary crisis governance. Welcome to the chat session, Dr. Farzana. Our first question for today's chat session is: you have presented on the topic narratives of failure, myth, decision, ecology, and contemporary crisis governance at the conference. Please explain your research in a nutshell.
Okay, thank you for the question. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers of the Bangkok International Conference on Social Science and Humanities for inviting me to this interaction. It's a pleasure to be here. Okay, now come to the question. Actually, I believe we are living in an era of constant crisis. Climate change, pandemics, wars, economic instability, technological risks, and political conflicts have become part of our everyday reality. When we examine these crises, we often focus on technology, policies, or institutions. However, I became interested in another question, that is, why do intelligent people and capable institutions repeatedly make decisions that eventually lead to failure? To explore this, I turned my I turned my focus to mythology. Ancient myths have survived for thousands of years because they preserve recurring patterns of human behaviors. They are not merely stories from the past. They contain insights into how people think, make decisions, misuse powers, and respond to the uncertainty. In my paper, I analyzed four well known narratives. Those are Hamlet, Cassandra, Daedalus, and King Midas. Each represents a different pattern of decision failure. Hamlet represents excessive hesitation of delayed decision. Cassandra represents ignored warnings. Daedalus demonstrates the unintended consequences of innovation. King Midas illustrates the dangers of pursuing a single objective without considering broader human values. From these narratives, I propose a conceptual model called decision ecology, which explains that decisions are never made in isolation. They emerge from interactions among people, institutions, information, culture, and power structures. Ultimately, my research suggests that understanding the stories we repeatedly tell ourselves may help us make better decisions during failure and future crises.
Thank you for your answer and your great thought. Moving forward with our next question. How do cultural myths and societal narratives shape perceptions of failure during times of crisis?
Thank you very much for this question. Actually, I believe that every society carries certain stories about success, failure, heroism, sacrifice, and leadership. These stories influence how we interpret events, often without us realizing it. For example, some cultures celebrate leaders who never admit mistakes. Others encourage passions even when urgent action is required. Some societies value technological progresses above everything else, while others place greater emphasis on tradition. These cultural narratives shape our expectations before we even begin making decisions. Miss work in a similar way. They are symbolic stories that have accumulated generations of human experience. They teach us what bravery looks like, what wisdom means, and what kind of behavior eventually lead to disaster. During a crisis, people rarely respond only to facts. They also respond to emotions, beliefs, memories, and cultural expectations. That's why myths remain relevant today. They help us understand not only individual failures but also collective patterns of behavior that repeatedly appear throughout history.
Thank you for the wonderful answer. Our next question is, what is meant by decision ecology and how does it influence crisis governance?
Okay, thank you for this question. Actually, decision ecology is the central concept of my research. When we think about decision making, we often imagine one individual making a choice. However, real decisions are much more complex. A decision is influenced by many interconnected factors. These include available information, institutional structures, political power, technology, cultural beliefs, public opinion, and human psychology. I use the term decision ecology because, like an ecological system, every element influences every other element. If one part of the system fails, the entire decision making process may be affected. For example, governance governments may process accurate scientific information, but political pressures delay action. Experts may issue warnings, but society may refuse to believe them. Technology may solve one problem while creating new risks. These are not isolated mistakes, they are failures of the entire decision environment. Understanding decision ecology encourages policymakers to move beyond asking who made the wrong decision. Instead, they begin asking what conditions made that decision possible. I believe this perspective can contribute to more resilient and adaptive crisis governance. Thank you.
Thank you. So, moving forward with our next question, what advice would you give to young researchers who are just starting out in the research world based on your
Oh,
own experiences and insights?
okay, that's interesting. Actually, research is a very long journey, and there are certainly lots of moments of frustrations, depressions, and so many. My first advice would be curious. Never stop asking questions, especially questions that seem unusual. Second, read widely, read madly. Don't limit yourself to your own discipline. Many innovative ideas emerge when different fields come together. For example, my own research combines mythology, literature, governance, psychology, and political theory. Third, I want to say don't fear failure. Many excellent research ideas develop only after several unsuccessful attempts. Every rejected paper, every critical review, and every revision is an opportunity to improve yourself. Finally, remember that research is not simply about publishing papers. Research is about contributing knowledge that may help people understand the world a little better. If you remain passionate, persistent, and intellectually honest, your work will gradually find its real place. That's all.
Thank you. So, our last question is the positive feedback about our conference.
Nice question. Thank you for this question. I would like to sincerely thank the organizers for providing such a well organized international platform for researchers from different countries and disciplines. Although I participated online just because I could not get my visa on time. That is was the reason I participated online. I truly appreciated the professionalism of the organizing team throughout the entire process. Communication was prompt and helpful, and the organizers were always supportive where I had questions or required assistance. I particularly value the conference's interdisciplinary approach, which brought together scholars from diverse research backgrounds. Such interactions create opportunities for new collaborations and fresh perspectives. It was an honor to present my research here, and I genuinely enjoyed being part of this academic community. I would certainly recommend this conference to fellow researchers, and I hope to participate again in future. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience with us, and thank you for attending this chat session. We are honored to have you, and it will be great to see you at our future conferences as well.
Once again, I would like to thank the organizers for inviting me to this interview and for recognizing my work. It has been a pleasure sharing my research and experiences with you. I hope your decision I hope our discussion encourages more interdisciplinary conversations about how literature, mythology, and humanities can contribute to solving contemporary global challenges. Thank you very much. It has been a privilege to be a part of this wonderful conference.
Thank you so much, Dr. Farzana.
Thank
So,
you